Home insurance premiums look more like mortgage payments these days.
Yeah, they sure do. Sky-high premiums. They're not your imagination right now. NBC5 Investigates looked at data from the Texas Department of Insurance and found that insurance companies asked the state to approve double-digit rate increases more than 150 times last year. And so far this year, they've asked for 74 more.
I'm in Mansfield, Texas, in an area where the houses were between $700,000 and $900,000, and let me show you what I just ran into. This is an eviction. The constable showed up and just put all of their personal belongings on the street. They knew that he was coming. They were told, they were given a time and a date, and they didn't get their stuff out. Look at that cake grater right there. And now all of their shit's been thrown out. They can't go back in the house. Even their cars are left behind. There's the TV. Yeah, they may have taken what they wanted to take, what they could take, and may have left the rest behind. This is where we're at in the real estate market, in an area with a very strict HOA, and everything is thrown out. They will be billed when the trash company comes and takes all this. I will probably be able to show you the inside of this house coming soon.
Everybody wants to move to Texas for the low cost of living until they realize we don't have any rent control regulations here. So that means whenever it's time for your lease to be renewed, these properties can basically charge you whatever they want to charge you. I've seen prices go up by $100 for the same unit just because they can. And this is more prevalent in properties that have a reputation for bad management. So this is something to think about if you're thinking of moving to Texas. Now, if you're looking to move anywhere in Texas within the next 60 days, my name is Chastity. I'm an apartment locator. I locate for all over Texas. You could click the link in my bio, send in a consultation form, and I can send you a list of properties just like that.
Home insurance will make you think that you can't afford a house. When I tell y'all, home insurance premiums, depending on the side of town that you're purchasing on, are so high. A lot of the areas where home insurance is high in Houston, Crosby, Dayton, Bay Cliff, Baytown, the east side, Channelview, it's a little bit higher over on that side. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that it's more prone to storm surges. It might also be because the homes are a little bit older, and while the insides of the homes have been renovated, a lot of the foundation has not been, so they don't have as many preventative measures for storm surges, flooding, and everything like that as a lot of the homes on the west side do. Maybe that might be what it is. I don't know. But I'm ranting because I have a client right now where her home insurance is just making the mortgage just so high and unbearable that I'm like, what you want to do, sis?
They sold you Texas like it was the last affordable place in America. Lower taxes, cheaper homes, economic freedom. The pitch was clean, the promise was real, and millions of families packed up everything they had and moved their lives down south chasing it. Right now, Texans are opening their mailboxes and finding something nobody warned them about. The home insurance bills are looking like a second mortgage. Insurance companies filed over 150 double-digit rate increase requests in a single year. 150, and they've already filed 74 more this year alone. So the state that was supposed to be the escape hatch from the affordability crisis is becoming the affordability crisis itself. Now, if you own a home in Texas or you're thinking about it, you need to watch this video to the end, because what's happening in Texas is a warning for every American who still believes the dream is affordable. I got these clips to the very end, and I'll be back with my final thoughts on the same.
5 reasons you absolutely positively do not want to move to Texas. TCT, temperature, crime, and taxes. Temperature? Yeah, it's hot in Texas all the time. It's just hot and you're just wet all the time. And it really, really sucks. Crime? Pick a city. Crime is everywhere in just about every city, and it's getting worse. And taxes? They don't tell you about the taxes, but it's really, really bad in Texas. And anybody tell you about public transportation? There is almost literally none throughout Texas. It's horrible. And the 5th reason not to move to Texas, traffic. Oh my God. Traffic. Pick a city. Traffic is horrible. And when I say horrible, it'll drive you insane. So those are the 5 reasons not to move to Texas. If you have more reasons, let me know in the comments, like and follow.
So we're moving from Austin to Portugal, and it's so crazy because we planned on staying here for way longer, for at least 2 to 3 years. We live in a brand new house in Austin, and the reason why we're moving is because we found mold. We're pretty sure that we have like mold intoxication. Since we got here, about like two months after we got here, Mike started to feel symptoms. My symptoms have not been so crazy, like my ear scratching, throat scratching, like allergy type. So I thought, oh, no big deal. Maybe it's just me moving to Texas. And then my daughter, 18-month-old, she has a cough that won't go away. And at first we thought it could be sickness, whatever. And then more and more we started looking into mold, and sure enough, we found mold in our place. And it is so crazy because now that we've talked to so many people, we know at least 6 different people who also found mold, had really bad symptoms, had to break their lease and move somewhere else. No idea this was such a huge issue in Texas, especially when you live in a brand new constructed house. You just don't think that that's going to happen. And then today I was selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and tell me why. They have like a newborn. I was selling them a crib, and tell me why. Like, we told them the whole story, and they're like, oh, that's crazy because we just found mold in our new place. That just gave me all the confirmation that I need, that we need to get out of here, because so many people are asking us like, oh, why out of the country? That's so random. Well, that was always the goal eventually. But we've tried everywhere. We've tried LA, I lived in Chicago, Miami, and now at this point, clearly, like, we have nowhere else to go. Like, it's time to go to Europe. But yeah, crazy. So if you plan on moving to Texas, or I guess Austin, just know that a lot of places are filled with mold.
The biggest threat to the housing market right now is not the high interest rates, or it's not the available inventory that we have for sale. It's the insurance quote. This year alone, I had 4 separate transactions that had to be canceled because we were not able to secure an insurance policy on a property that was affordable enough for my clients to be able to afford purchasing that property. As you know, if you're buying a property, especially if you have to use a loan in order to purchase that property, you have to get insurance on a house. If not, the bank will straight up deny you and you cannot close on the property. Well, what's happening right now, especially in my state, in California, a lot of insurance companies left the state, and the ones they stayed in the state and they're doing business, their policies tripled or even more than that. For example, the last property I sold, it was a townhome. My client was paying around $40 a month for that coverage. The new buyer ended up paying $250 a month for the same coverage on that property. That combined to the high interest rates and the high prices for homes, a lot of buyers are not able to qualify for the loan, and they're not ultimately able to purchase the house. So if you're thinking about buying a house right now, make sure you shop around for insurance, get an idea before you decide on a property or while you're in escrow, because you might end up having a shock.
Oh, so this article just put out by the Houston Chronicle talks about Houston homeowners insurance going up astronomically. In many cases, homeowners insurance in Texas and Houston has gone up by 60, 70, 80, even 90%. So what is going on with homeowners insurance, and why the massive hike? And it's not just across one company. Many companies are pulling out of the Texas market, which is causing less competition, and they're citing massive losses. They're citing all of the ongoing storms that we've had in the recent years. There have been multiple storms and multiple losses and claims that the insurance companies have had to pay. So a lot of them are pulling out of the market, and the ones remaining are saying for the additional risk, we've got to double the rate of your policy. So that's one thing that's causing a little bit of a hiccup with home buying here in Houston and in Texas. Although I will say you get a lot of bang for your buck in Texas. You can get a lot of house for a lot less than other places like, say, Florida, California, and New York. But homeowners insurance has gone up, and property taxes is some of the higher property taxes in the nation. So those are just things to consider. However, Texas has absolutely no state income tax, zero state income tax. So some of the pluses and minuses: homeowners insurance has gone up. So if you're looking at homes, it'd be good to get with an insurance agent or 2 or 3, so you can start getting those quotes going. And when you're ready, you can get multiple quotes and go with the best plan at the best rate. Hope that helps.
Good people, welcome back to the channel. Now, allow me to paint your picture. You spent years saving, you did everything right, you left the expensive state, skipped the overpriced city, moved somewhere with lower taxes and more space, and you bought your home. You signed the papers, you built life, and then one morning you open an envelope and the number inside doesn't make sense. Your home insurance has doubled, or worse. And you sit there thinking, this can't be right. This must be a mistake. It's not a mistake, bro. This is Texas in 2026. And this is what the affordability collapse looks like when it finally comes for the people who thought they escaped it. Texas has spent years marketing itself as the alternative to blue state affordability. When California got too expensive, people moved to Texas. When New York got suffocating, people moved to Texas. The pitch was ideological, cultural, and economic all at once. Smaller government, lower costs, more freedom, more opportunity. And for a window of time, it worked. Texas grew, Austin exploded, Dallas and Houston became economic powerhouses. Millions of people relocated, and for a while, the math made sense. But here's what the pitch didn't include in the fine print, guys. Now, Texas sits in one of the most climate-exposed corridors in the entire United States. You got hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, wildfires, windstorms that collapse the power grid. The land is beautiful, the space is real, but the risk is enormous. And insurance companies do not operate on vibes. They operate on actual tables and profit margins. So while politicians were celebrating migration numbers and population growth, insurance companies were quietly repricing what it actually costs to own property in Texas. And those numbers are brutal, bro. According to the Texas Department of Insurance, companies requested double-digit rate increase of 150 times in a single year. 150 separate requests to raise prices on families already stretched thin. And this year, 74 more requests have already been filed. This is not a glitch. This is a trend. Now, here's the argument I want you to sit with, guys. The affordability crisis doesn't always doesn't always arrive looking like what you expect. Sometimes it doesn't look like high taxes. Sometimes it doesn't look like a Democratic governor or a progressive city council. Sometimes it looks like a renewal notice. Sometimes it looks like a line item on a bill you didn't budget for, quietly destroying the financial architecture of your entire life. That's what's happening in Texas right now, guys. Because here's the math problem nobody wants to say out loud. When your mortgage is fixed, your property taxes keep climbing, your groceries cost more, your utilities are unpredictable, and now your home insurance is surging. You can do everything right and still fall behind. That's not a personal failure. That's a structural trap. And the cruelest part of it all, many of the people being squeezed the hardest voted specifically for policies they believed would protect them for exactly this kind of economic pressure. They wanted relief from inflation, they wanted stability, they wanted someone to fight for the working and middle class, and I understand that. But instead, they squeezed, followed them across state lines, because the affordability crisis isn't a California problem or a New York problem. It is an American problem, and no political brand, no migration pattern, and no promise about lower taxes can outrun climate exposure, corporate pricing power, and decades of wage stagnation, all arriving at the same time. Now, I want to speak directly to the people this is actually happening, because Behind every statistic is a real family, a real household, a real person who bought a home because they believed in something. They believe in stability. They believe in the promise that if you worked hard and played by the rules, you will build something that couldn't be taken away from you. Home ownership was supposed to be that foundation. And get that, understand that. But and now they're watching the cost of simply keeping that home rise faster than any raise they've ever received. They're not posting their renewal notices on social media for attention. They are posting them because they don't know what else to do, because the numbers are real, the frustration is real, and the silence from the people who are supposed to protect them is deafening. This is what financial fear looks like in real time. No dramatic, no cinematic, just quiet, grinding pressure, the kind that doesn't make headlines but reshapes entire life. So, as I wind up, I want to tell you something, guys. Number one, you need to stop letting geography be your political solution. Moving to a red state or a blue state doesn't fix systemic economic problems. The cost of the cost of living crisis is national. The climate exposure is real. The corporate pricing power is everywhere. You cannot relocate your way out of structural issues. Number two, you got to pay attention to what insurance costs are actually telling you. Insurance is the canary in the coal mine of affordability. When insurers start leaving markets or hiking rates aggressively, they are pricing in risk that the political conversation is completely ignoring. That's information. Use it. Number three, demand specificity from your elected officials, not just slogans, not culture war, specific substantive policy on housing costs, insurance regulation, climate resilience, infrastructure, and wage growth. If a representative cannot give you that, they are not working for you. Now, I know Texas, and you know that Texas was sold as the dream. For many families, it is still. The land is real, the community is real, the potential is real. But the dream needs to be protected by honest economics, not just a good pitch. Because when insurance looks like a mortgage payment, it is not an inconvenience, it is a warning. And the families who are already feeling it deserve more than a political talking point. They deserve answers. And that's it. They need the right answers to their problems. This is the Diaspora View. Thank you for watching. Thank you for always being here. And I'm asking you guys, subscribe. Take me to 1,000 subscribers so that I can monetize my channel. And we keep on doing this. Thank you. We'll catch up next time.